If you're using Buzz, all your files, your agent activities, and conversations are stored on someone else's server. And that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. But there's another problem. Buzz is getting hammered right now, and I've had a lot of relay connectivity issues because the host server is busy. So I moved my Buzz community into my self-hosted relay on my B-Link home box, which means this tiny computer in my house runs my relay, stores all the files and contents, and even runs my AI models locally, which means my data stays with me and I'm no longer dependent on Block's relay availability. And I can run local models without API costs. And I'm going to prove those 2 points right now. To prove that this works, I'm going to go and disconnect my Wi-Fi. And I'm going to come into Buzz and I'm going to say, hi. You can see the agent is responding and I'm still connected even though I don't have any Wi-Fi. And so this is important because it's two things. Number one, I'm hosting my relay locally, so it's still connected to Buzz. And number two, the agent is working locally without internet connection. So let's go back here. No Wi-Fi, no internet, no Ethernet. And it's all running locally. And it's giving me a reply. So let's come here. It says, hey Keith, happy to help. That's what you can do locally. In this video, we're going to cover 6 topics: why you should self-host, important concepts like identity, keys, relay, community, and then we're going to go into relay options: block hosted, homebox, VPS, railway. Then we're going to go into shared compute, which is one of the most powerful things inside Buzz with Mesh LLM. And then finally, how you can run local AI with LMStudio or your other models. Buzz is built on top of the Nostr network. And the biggest difference is you own your own identity. What does that mean? If you're using a traditional Slack or Discord app or whatever messaging app you're using, they own your identity and all the messages, right? You have an app, you have an account, they send the messages and it owns all of that data. And if it goes kapoop, you lose all of it. Nostr allows you to own your own identity by giving you a private and public key that you own. And you can carry this anywhere. If the company disappears, you still own it. You use it to sign your events, and then you send it to a relay, which delivers the messages. And we're going to explain what a relay is, but you can choose your relay. If it's stored with Block, they own it. But if you have your own relay, you own that data yourself. And so this allows you to own all the data and your identity and not worry about some company owning all of it. With Buzz, you get your own identity that you own. First, you get a public key. This is like a name badge, and it's completely fine for anyone to see it. So even if you put it out there, it's not a problem. It basically lets people know who you are. In fact, if someone wants to invite you to their community, you have to send them your public key. Or if you want to invite someone to your community, you have to get their public key. But the public key alone doesn't prove that it's you. That's where the private key comes in. Think of it as a signature pen. Whenever I send something from Buzz, it signs a message using my private key to prove that it's actually me. So they need a combination of both. So they invite you to the group, and to prove that the messages coming from you, it has to be signed with a private key. So definitely don't share your private key with anybody. If they do, they can potentially act as you. And then now we come to community, relay, and relay URL. Buzz desktop app is just a window to access your community. To find your community, Buzz needs a relay URL. So this might be a local address like WS 192.168, or a secure internet address like buzz.example.com. The address points to the relay, and then the relay points to your community, and your community hosts the workspace of all your files, your chats, everything. But this is just a container, and all the files and your community are actually stored on your relay machine. So think of your community as like a folder within your filing cabinet. It stores all your messages, channels, members, and files, but it is all stored on a backend server on a relay that has a database, has object storage, has Redis, all this fancy stuff you don't need to understand. You just need to know that all your files and everything is on your relay. So if you set up to use a default Buzz relay by Block, your messages and your file and everything is stored on the Block infrastructure. You may own the content, but Block has custody of your files. If you self-host your own relay, then you get to have complete control over your own data if that's important to you. Quick note, the Block hosted relay right now is free of charge in early access, and it's got 5 gigabytes of data, and it's great because it's basically a Block hosted server, but for free. The problem is we don't know when they're going to start charging you money. I don't know how the math works, but I don't think it can be free forever. So eventually I might have to move to a self-hosted relay, and that's going to be a pain in the butt to move all the files over. so you might as well do it early. There are actually 3 options for relays. One, you have the default block hosted relay. It's the easiest. When you set up, you just click on it and it's there by default. There's a second one, which is a block hosted private community relay. You rent the server to host your own relay. And then finally, you have your own self-hosted relay, which we're going to cover. And since a community is just a folder inside your relay, you can set up your relay once, your server once, and you can have multiple different communities inside. You can have private communities, public communities. You can host a bunch of them inside your relay. I'm going to show you how you can install Buzz Relay on your own self-hosted machine. I'm on a Linux machine right now, and on the Buzz engineering blog, it has all these instructions on how to set it up. And I've turned this into a prompt where you can just copy and paste, and running Codex or Cloud Code, it will automatically install for you without going through the hassle of doing every single command on its own. First thing I'm going to do is open my terminal. I'm going to type in Codex, and all I need to do is enter my prompt, and you'll see that my prompt has all these instructions. And what it's going to do is it's going to detect whether you have Buzz or not. So if you have Buzz already installed, don't worry, it will not overwrite that. But if it doesn't, it's going to download that as well to set up the relay. And it's going to come back to you for additional information when it's generating its private keys and all the sensitive data, so you don't pass that to Open Router. Now it's going to ask me if I want to run this. I'm going to do it. Yes. And you'll see that I have instructions in there that says, if you need me to generate a relay private key or anything that's sensitive, it's going to pause. So I'm going to hit continue. So it's discovered I don't have Docker, and it's going to go and do that for me. Now it's asking for my Buzz public key. And so how do I get it? I have to go into my Buzz app, come here, click on settings, and then underneath identity, I can see my public key. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to paste it. If you're at this stage, you need to install Buzz so then you can get your public key. Okay, so Docker is not installed. So what I need to do is I need to open a new terminal, and I'm going to paste it in, and it needs to install Docker. And I'm using warp.dev, which also helps me with the terminal commands, and it's going to fix my Docker installation. I'm just going to click install Docker using apt, and it's going to require me to enter my password. So I'm going to take control, enter my password, and boom, it's installing Docker. And with warp.dev, it's like an agent for your terminal. You can just bring in your OpenAPI key or your Anthropic key, and the agent will help you solve these issues. I personally don't like handling the command line for installing Docker, so this will automatically solve it for me. All right, so Docker is installed, and I'm going to go back to my original terminal that I opened earlier and say Docker is installed. We have our basic relay configured, and all it's asking for is the Buzz relay private key. And the prompt that I've given it is that I'm not going to give the AI my private key because I don't want to send it anywhere. I need to manually put in the secret key into this file, and then once it's done, I'm going to let it know that the private key has been added. So I'm just going to click on this, open file, and you will see the private key is here, change me 64 hex private key. So to generate a new private key, I need to copy this command. I need to go to a terminal, open a new terminal, paste it, and I'm going to press that. Okay, so it's generated a secret key. I'm going to copy the secret key, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to click on the environment.env file. I'm going to open the file, and then I'm going to find the Buzz relay private key, and then I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to save it. I'm going to say relay private key added. Okay, so now it's stuck on Docker socket permissions. So I need to run this and then come back. I need to run this command. I'm going to say continue, and it's done. So Buzz relay is now running on a B-Link and bound to a LAN IP. So this is my IP address, and I just need to open Buzz and join a community and enter this URL. So let's try it. Okay, so add the new community that I created. I come to here, go next to my name, and I can add community. I can join an existing community, and I'm just gonna paste this in, and now I can create a new username and then take me to Buzz, and boom, Honey is already replying to me. So I can switch my community here on the top left. This is my Buzz hosted relay. And so I can add communities, I can change communities on my left, so I can have multiple communities. You've installed your local relay, but one thing you might notice is that it's displaying a number 192.168 something. That means it's running on a local private network. So only computers on your home network connected to your Wi-Fi or your Ethernet can access it. But then you might ask, how do I connect it from outside of my home and I'm not connected to my home Wi-Fi? There's two options. One is you create a secure public access, and you'll need a domain name for that and HTTPS to connect to your network. So anywhere in the world, anybody can connect to your domain. The second option is you can install Tailscale. So what Tailscale does is create an encrypted private mesh. What does that mean? Even though you're outside, you can still connect to your local network at home. But what that requires is that it requires both your devices to have Tailscale under the same account. So this is what I use. I'm going to show you quickly. All you need to do is go to tailscale.com, sign up for a free account, download the software, and then turn it on. Once you turn it on and it's connected, then both of these devices can connect to each other over a private network. But if you want to share this to people outside of yourself, then you need to set up a public relay because they can't access your Tailscale as your private mesh network. So how that would work is your Buzz app is going to go to a public address with your public domain name. It's going to find the IP address through the internet and then go to your home router and then connect to your relay. Now, can you set this up so that your local home box can have a public domain and you need to install Caddy and set it up? Yes, but I don't recommend it because then you're exposing your home box to the entire internet. And even though you can do it, I think the security risks are too big. What I would recommend, you have three options. One, you can set the public address on your own home box. Don't recommend that. You can use VPS, such as Hostinger, and you can one-click deploy, or you can also use Railway, which is like a VPS, but costs a little bit more. So I'm going to go through how to do these two options. Now I'm going to show you how to install Buzz on a VPS like Hostinger. Hostinger just launched a one-click service. You can subscribe to a plan. I would recommend the KVM2 because you need enough CPU and RAM to run this. And I think this is like the most optimal choice. What's cool about VPS is that I have a server here running Hermes, which I have included in a separate video. But because I own the server and is running Linux in the background and is running Docker, I can actually go in and take a look. I have my Hermes running and it's only using 15% of the memory, 1% of the CPU. On top of this, I can add an application and I can search for Buzz. And all I need to do is get my relay owner public key. I'll go to settings, identity, public key, paste this in, deploy, and boom, I have Buzz installed on my VPS server along with my Hermes agent sharing the same server. So that's the biggest advantage of using a VPS. You actually own the machine that you rented. Okay, it only took a minute and it's now running. If I click on open, it's going to show me that there's a Buzz relay running and I need to just simply copy this and go back. I can go to add community. I can just paste in that URL. I can join community, take me to Buzz. And just like that, I'm running Buzz on a VPS. Now, if you're new to VPS, Hostinger just launched a Buzz one-click deploy. It's the easiest way to deploy Buzz. You can get the link in the description, or you can go to hostinger.com/application/Buzz. Now, there are many plans, and based on my experience, the KVM2 is the best plan because yes, you can still run it on a KVM1, but it might be slow and you might run out of memory. So the most ideal is probably KVM2, especially if you want to run Hermes and OpenClaw on it as well. Once you choose plan, you can choose 24 months, 12 months, or 1 month. 24 months is the best deal. And then you can enter a coupon code and you just enter Thief AI and you will get 10% off. So I'm going to hit apply and boom, I got 10% off. And then you want to choose your location, choose the one closest to you. I'm going to choose Malaysia. And then you hit continue and pay for the subscription. And once you've paid, you just go to VPS, get KVM VPS, choose your location, search for Buzz in the applications, and then just follow the instructions, enter your public key, and you've got Buzz running. Let me show you the one-click deploy using Railway. So if you go to railway.com/deploy/Buzz relay block, after you've signed up for a Railway account, all you need to do is click deploy now. It's going to set up Buzz, Redis, Postgres, bucket, and the bucket I need to choose where I want it. Automatically it's going to choose the closest location to me, and I'll need to input my relay owner public key. And so I'll go back to Buzz. I come down here. I'll go to settings, identity, copy my public key, paste it in, save. And then after I've configured my public key and my bucket, I simply press deploy and we just wait for it to complete the process. And so what I need to do is I need to come here and here's my address. So I'll go back to Buzz. So I'm back in Buzz. I can come here and I can come to the add community. If you don't have the add community because you only have one, it's really simple. You go to here and you can also add community, join an existing community. Then you paste in the URL, but you have to add w:/join community. And then I can just type in Keith, take me to Buzz, and boom, I'm in. And it's setting up my team. And that's how easy it is to set up with Railway. When you sign up for Railway, you get $5 in credits for 30 days. So you can set this up for free and give it a try. So what if you don't want to use this weird block Buzz main production up.railway app URL? You can change it to your custom domain. How do you do that? You just come here, go to settings, and you can click custom domain. I'm going to name it buzz.rumgen.com. I'm going to select port 3000. I'm going to add domain. And all I need to do is to copy this into my DNS settings for my domain server. So I'm using Namecheap. I'm going to go ahead and add that in. I'm going to go to rumgen.com, manage. I'm going to go to advanced DNS. So now that I'm in, I'm going to add a record. I'm going to choose CNAME and I'm going to copy this in. I'm going to call this Buzz, just like it says. And then I need to put in a TXT. So let's copy that in. And name is here. The host. Okay, I've added the CNAME and the TXT record. It's going to take some time to populate. And when it does, I'm going to be able to use my custom domain name. After a couple minutes, the DNS has been populated. I don't have to press anything. It's going to auto check. And all I need to do is come here, copy it. I come to my Buzz app, add community, join an existing community. And I can say WSS, buzz.rumgen.com. Boom. Give it a name. Okay. Now it's connected. It's got a green tick and it's verified my DNS record, but that is not enough. Then you need to come to your variables, come to relay URL, edit it, change this into my new URL, and then click deploy. Give it a second to redeploy. Okay, and it's deployed successfully. So let's check it out. Oh yeah, it's working. So I'm going to come back to my Buzz app, come here, add a community, join a community, type in www.wss, buzz.rumgen.com, give it a name, take me to Buzz, and boom, we're in. And now I have my own custom community with my own custom domain name. But that's not it. If you don't want everyone in the world to join your community if they discover your URL, you need to add in a new variable called Buzz require relay membership. Set it to true. And to invite people to your community, it's really simple. You can click invite to community, and you can generate a link. And this link will expire in a certain number of days. And so only people who have authorized have this link can join, or you can take the public key and add it in directly. So that's how you set it up using Railway. The example I had in the beginning where I turned off the internet, yes, the relay was hosted locally, but it still needs an AI LLM to process all the tasks I'm giving it. It is still calling cloud models. You're still sending data to OpenAI, Claude Code, Anthropic, and paying them money for their tokens. What have I told you? You can turn your relay into a local LLM machine so you can be truly offline, truly private, and most of all, you're essentially running AI for free locally. Right now, when you send a request to Buzz, say, summarize this repo, it sends it to your relay, which you've self-hosted. But then at this stage, you need to send a task to an AI LLM to process the request. And right now, you're probably using a cloud model like OpenAI, put in the API key, or Anthropic, whatever you're using. But Buzz has a shared compute pool option, which is basically the easiest way I've seen to run a local AI model. You don't have to download LMStudio or Llama. Press a button, it'll download the LLM model for you, and boom, you can process the task you sent locally on your own machine. And not only that, it's a shared compute pool. So not only can you run the LLM model on your home box, but you can have it run on your Mac, you can have it on your VPS, If you have 5 computers, you can have running on 5 computers, and they're all combined to form one giant AI cluster to process your requests. And let me dive into how that works. So Buzz has integrated Mesh LLM into its product, and it's a really cool project that allows you to share your idle computers for inference. What does that mean? I have a B-Link and I share my compute resources. It's got an LLM model running. Not only can I process my own requests, I can share this request with members of my community. So I open a channel, I invite my wife, I invite my colleagues. They can also use the resources on my home box in the community. So I can share my AI resources with my friends, colleagues, family members. Not only that, I can have it running on multiple machines on my local Mac or another machine or VPS. Now I have 3 machines running AI, and that can all be shared to my community as well. Pretty mind-blowing stuff. But you might be thinking, oh, I have a lot of old computers lying around like me, and I'm just going to install on 20 devices, and the more machines I have, the faster the AI is going to be. It doesn't work like that. Think of each local AI machine as a taxi. Having 3 taxis doesn't mean you get there faster. It just means you have more capacity to have more passengers. So let's say I'm sending a request and it first sends it to my home box. Great. And that's busy right now. And let's say my colleague sends a request. It realizes B-Link it's busy, so then they'll use my Mac. And then let's say I have a gaming computer attached. The third person or the third request that comes along is going to call that. So each person is going to have different response times. Like my Mac is the slowest compared to my gaming machine and my home box. So adding more machines doesn't mean you get faster responses, and also on the performance of that machine. But if you have a lot of people sharing your compute resources, go ahead, add more machines to your mesh network. You must be asking, if I have Buzz installed on multiple machines, which one should I run shared compute? You have VPS like Hostinger. I wouldn't recommend it because usually they don't have a strong GPU. And so actually it's going to be really slow running the AI. You can run it on your local Mac computer or your local desktop. Your local computer might be really fast. The problem is you switch it off all the time. And so when it's off, you can't use it. So it's not 24/7. And then you can have a home box. So I have a B-Link, but I also have an old gaming laptop that I can leave on 24/7. It's fast, but the networking in my house might not be the best, and that would affect the performance. But that would be your best option. If you do have some sort of home box with a fast GPU, then go ahead and host your relay and share compute and run local AI as well. But the key is just remember there are 2 things, like a relay host and an AI machine are 2 separate things, right? You can run both, but it depends if your computer is fast enough. If you only have the Raspberry Pi, or earlier I have a Jetson Nano, or you have a Jetson Nano like I do, like a tiny little machine, maybe I can just use that to run a relay and not a local AI machine. I'm going to show you how to turn on share compute, and it's so easy, it blows my mind. All I need to do is come here, come to settings, and then you come down here to compute, and all you need to do is you need to first choose a model. And what's smart about Buzz is that it detects your hardware and actually recommends the best one for you. So I'd go with the recommended one, but like I said earlier, you can look into the details of all these other ones and pick the best one for your use case. I'm just going to go select this, and all I need to do is click on this button. It's going to prepare and it's downloading, and then it's going to start. And that's all you really need to do to share your compute. Once it's done, it's going to show you that it's sharing the model with relay members. I'm going to go back. What you want to do is you want to go to agents, click add, and then I'm going to give it a name called shared. I'm gonna come in. You can choose any harness you want because the harness is different from your LLM provider. So I'm just gonna stick with Buzz. And here you can just come down and here, select Buzz shared compute. You can choose automatic, but just to double check, oh, this should appear. You can click that and you can say who can use it. So right now I can set it to just me, but if I throw this into a channel and let's say my colleagues or my wife or my family members on channel and I want them to use my local machine to process it, why not? It doesn't cost me any money. Then I can allow them to also use my local compute as well. And that's why it's called share compute. And I'm gonna add the agent. Now I have a shared one. I'm going to open a channel and I'm going to create a new channel called shared, and I'm going to set it as a temporary 7-day channel. Okay, so now I can share this with other people and have the agent be used by other people as well. I've added share. I'm going to say, hi, shared. Let's check back in when it's done. And this way, in this channel, if I invite my friends and my family, they can all use my local shared agent running local AI. Okay, and it's come back to me and it says, hi Keith, thanks for greeting. How can I help you today? Now, a small thing I noticed is that if I direct message shared, there seems to be a bug where it doesn't reply to me in the chat. So right now it's only working in channels, but I'm thinking Buzz will eventually fix that issue. When you open Share Compute, you're going to see this really scary list of models to choose from. Don't worry about it. In most cases, just pick the one Buzz recommends for you because it's going to detect your computer's capabilities and recommends the best one for you. Don't worry if Gemma's better than Quen because there are basically 3 factors for choosing your model. So number 1, does it fit your machine? Number 2, how much memory do you have? And number 3, what job do you want the agent to do? The first one is the most important. It's how fast is your machine. If your machine is not that fast, then you can't even run the larger models. So comfortable is the best choice because it's running at 60% of capacity. Tight is 90%. And then there's models that's too large for your machine, unless you have a super powerful machine. Then you have to look at how much memory you have, and Buzz will recommend the best one for you. And then the third one, and memory determines how fast your output is going to be. Smaller models are going to run faster, but the results are not going to be as good. Larger models, more capable, but it's going to take longer. So ask yourself, are you willing to wait 5 minutes for a response? Probably not. And then you have to look at what job you want the agent to do. So bigger is not better. The most important factor is speed. What's the best output you can get and the most acceptable speed you're willing to accept? But then you also have to remember that different models have different capabilities. So you have Gemma, which is the best, most efficient one, Quen, general purpose. But then let's say you want to have vision. You want to upload images or files. You want to upload images so then it can read the image and find out what's in the image. Then you need vision capability. Then you'll need 3.5. If you're doing coding, then maybe you need a coding specific model. And so if you want to really dig deep into it, you have to look at what each model is good at. But generally speaking, speed is the deciding factor. Test different ones and find the ones where it responds to you in a time that you can accept. If you want to dig deeper into finding more about the LLMs, because it's using Mesh LLM, you can go to huggingface.co, datasets/Mesh LLM, and you can see a catalog of all the models they provide. And actually it has a description. This one's good for coding. This one's good for chat. And so you can go in and you can take a look which one is the most suitable for your needs and their sizes. You might be thinking, hey, Keith, there's only 6 models here. It's not enough. What if I want to run more models? This is where LMStudio comes in. Just download LMStudios and you can come to model search. And there's lots and lots of different models for you. The thing I like about LMStudio is that based on your machine, it can find the best match for your machine. And it also makes it really easy to see the tool. So vision, if you want to look at images, tool use, if you're using it for agents, reasoning, if you want to see the reasoning behind each answer. So you can have all these models. So I can download Bonsai 27B, and then I can use it in Buzz. So I have a Quen 3.4b that I downloaded a long time ago. And let's see if I can use that inside Buzz. So to use that, I need to come to developer and I have to start my server by clicking this. And now I have a reachable URL and I need to load a model. So I'm going to use this Quen. It's going to load it up. Okay. Now it's loaded. Now that you've loaded your models, there's only 2 things you need. Number 1, you need to go to server settings and you need to turn on require authentication. Click on manage tokens. And then you want to create a new token and give it a name and just copy that token and you'll need it for Buzz later. The second thing is you need the IP address. So if you come here to the top, you'll see that it's got 127.0.01, Just copy that as well and save it somewhere. You'll need it for Buzz later. Now I'm going to add a new agent. I'm going to name it LMStudio. I'm going to click customize for this agent. And what you need to do is you need to select OpenAI compatible. And then you need to go back to your LMStudio and copy that token we created, but it's not going to load anything yet. What you need to do is you come to advanced and you need to come down to environmental variables. And this is where you have to enter OpenAI compat base URL. And don't worry, I'm going to include this in the description so you can download it. Then go back to LMStudio, copy the IP address, and you need to type in /v1. Then it's going to be able to search for your model. Now it's loading my Quen 3B, and I just need to add agent, and let's give it a test. I'll load it up. I'm going to say hi, and you can see that it's recognizing it. And the difference is this is not the same as shared compute. This is running locally just on the machine that the Buzz is on. But you can also share this to your other machines as long as your other computers or other devices can reach the address 127.0/1234. And you can do that with Tailscale. So now you can use LMStudio with Buzz. All right, and it's come back with an answer, but two things. Number one, it's taking a while, and running on my local MacBook, it's overheating a little bit and it's taking a while. Number two, I realized with local LLM, sometimes it doesn't send you a response back in the chat. It sends an activity, so you never actually see it in the chat. And I'm not sure if this is a bug or a problem with the model. The one thing I did notice is that if I use newer models that are more powerful, they can handle sending a message back into Buzz better. So those are the small problems I've encountered. So here's my final verdict. Would I recommend you self-hosting Buzz? It's actually two questions. Should you self-host your relay, and should you self-host your AI model itself? And my answer is actually very different for each one. Right now, Buzz's hosted relay is free of charge. It's incredibly easy to get started. And honestly, if you're trying Buzz for the first time, I would probably start there. But there are a couple of things that make me a little bit uncomfortable in the long term. Firstly, connectivity issues. A lot of people are signing up to Buzz, and sometimes I get disconnected. And when I'm disconnected, I can't do anything. Second thing is, it's free today, but what if they charge tomorrow? If I spend the next year building up conversation, files, agents, and all of this context inside Buzz, I really don't want to be in a situation where I suddenly need to move them all out. And the third one is data ownership. As I use Buzz more and more, I'm going to be giving it more and more information, and maybe even some confidential information and data. So now I'm trusting Block's infrastructure to hold my confidential data. But if I host my own, I own that 100%. And the thing is, self-hosting your relay is not that difficult in terms of complexity and also the resources demanded. If you have a little home box, doesn't have to be super powerful, but lots of storage, you can run your Buzz relay, install Tailscale, and now multiple devices can connect to it. However, if you want to share your community with other people joining your community, I would use a VPS instead, because it's a little tricky to share your home box out to the outside world, and I'm not sure if it's safe. And with a VPS, you can have Buzz, Hermes, OpenClaw running on the same server. That's online 24/7. So self-hosting, big yes for me, but local AI, that's a big maybe. Mesh LLM is crazy because I love the idea of Mesh. The fact that I can click one button, download a model, and then share that AI compute to my entire Buzz community, that's kind of mind-blowing. The concept is awesome, but the actual experience is a little rough. For some reason, I've done other videos on locally hosted AI using LMStudio and Ollama. You can check those videos out. But in Beeling, it's running a lot slower for some strange reason. And what really bothers me is that there's a lot of bugs in the app right now where the model actually answers. You can see it in the activity feed, but it doesn't get sent to the Buzz app. So that's a deal breaker because you're getting unstable response from a local AI. So unless privacy is really important and you have a super powerful computer, I wouldn't switch everything to local AI just yet. I'd self-host the relay, but continue to use cloud models like OpenAI and Claude because you're getting a really fast response time. And there's one particular use case where this makes sense, where privacy is the ultimate concern for you and you want to run the relay locally, have the AI running locally, and maybe you're also running Hermes and OpenClaw locally, and somehow you don't have the internet and you can run it all on your machine, then you should self-host both. My final verdict, I highly recommend that you self-host your own relay, but self-hosting the AI, maybe. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I have more of these Mastering AI series. All the prompts and tips and tricks that I use in the video is available in the description, and you can find more inside my school community. So see you inside.